Larson Farms is a family-operated grain farm based in Nebraska that has become widely known through its YouTube channel documenting large-scale agricultural operations. The channel focuses on corn and soybean production and presents routine farm work with minimal editing or narration. This approach has drawn attention from viewers seeking a clear understanding of how modern commercial farming operates. Unlike lifestyle-focused agricultural content, Larson Farms centers its videos on day-to-day decision-making, equipment use, and seasonal challenges. Viewers regularly see planting schedules, harvest logistics, machinery maintenance, and the impact of weather on crop outcomes. The content emphasizes operational realities rather than personal storytelling, which has contributed to its credibility among both farming and non-farming audiences. The channel's growth reflects a broader public interest in food production and supply chains, particularly among viewers with limited exposure to agriculture. By sharing unfiltered footage of large-scale farming, Larson Farms offers insight into the economic and logistical pressures faced by modern grain producers. Its public presence has positioned the operation as a reference point in online discussions about contemporary agriculture, transparency, and scale, while remaining focused on documentation rather than commentary or advocacy. The Larson family farm has operated in Nebraska for multiple generations, adapting over time to changes in agricultural technology, land use, and market conditions. Like many Midwestern grain operations, the farm expanded gradually as equipment capabilities improved, and consolidation became a practical requirement for remaining competitive. This evolution reflects broader structural changes within U.S. agriculture, rather than a single period of rapid growth. Earlier generations relied on smaller machinery and more labor-intensive practices, while modern operations depend on high-capacity equipment and precision systems. Advances in GPS guidance, yield monitoring, and data management have altered how planting, fertilization, and harvesting decisions are made. These tools allow the farm to manage larger acreages with fewer people, but they also require substantial financial investment and technical expertise. The transition to large-scale production did not eliminate risk. Weather, variability, input costs, and commodity price fluctuations continue to influence outcomes each season. The farm's operational structure developed in response to these pressures, balancing efficiency with resilience. This long-term adaptation illustrates how family farms have changed over time, maintaining continuity while responding to economic and technological demands that define modern grain production. The YouTube channel associated with Larson Farms gained traction during a period when few large-scale farming operations were openly documenting their daily work online. Most agricultural content available at the time focused on small farms or lifestyle-oriented narratives. In contrast, Larson Farms presented routine commercial farming activities without narration designed for entertainment or persuasion. The videos showed planting, harvesting, equipment maintenance, and weather delays as they occurred. This straightforward approach appealed to viewers looking for practical information rather than curated storytelling. The absence of heavy editing or scripted explanations contributed to a perception of transparency, which helped build trust with audiences unfamiliar with large-scale agriculture. The channel also benefited from broader public interest in supply chains and food production, particularly among urban viewers with limited exposure to farming. As the audience grew, the channel reached beyond agricultural communities and became a reference point for discussions about modern grain farming. Its growth was driven less by viral moments and more by consistent documentation, allowing viewers to develop a clearer understanding of how commercial farming operates across an entire season rather than isolated events. Larson Farms operates at a scale that reflects the realities of modern grain production in the Midwest. The operation relies on high-capacity tractors, combines, and grain handling systems designed to cover large acreages within narrow seasonal windows. These machines represent substantial capital investment and require ongoing maintenance, technical knowledge, and precise coordination during planting and harvest. The scale of the equipment is closely tied to time sensitivity. Weather conditions often determine whether fieldwork can be completed on schedule, and delays can reduce yields or increase costs. The farm's videos frequently show how equipment efficiency and logistics affect daily decisions, particularly during peak seasons when timing is critical. Despite the size of the operation, profit margins remain limited. Input costs such as seed, fertilizer, fuel, and repairs must be managed against fluctuating commodity prices. A single mechanical failure or weather event can significantly affect financial outcomes. The channel provides a view of how large-scale farms balance these pressures, illustrating that scale does not eliminate risk, but instead reshapes how risk is managed within commercial agriculture. Larson Farms operates at a scale that reflects the realities of modern grain production in the Midwest. The operation relies on high-capacity tractors, combines, and grain handling systems designed to cover large acreages within narrow seasonal windows. These machines represent substantial capital investment and require ongoing maintenance, technical knowledge, and precise coordination during planting and harvest. The scale of the equipment is closely tied to time sensitivity. Weather conditions often determine whether fieldwork can be completed on schedule, and delays can reduce yields or increase costs. The farm's videos frequently show how equipment efficiency and logistics affect daily decisions, particularly during peak seasons when timing is critical. Despite the size of the operation, profit margins remain limited. Input costs such as seed, fertilizer, fuel, and repairs must be managed against fluctuating commodity prices. A single mechanical failure or weather event can significantly affect financial outcomes. The channel provides a view of how large-scale farms balance these pressures, illustrating that scale does not eliminate risk, but instead reshapes how risk is managed within commercial agriculture. As the channel's audience expanded, Larson Farms became subject to increased public scrutiny. Viewers from outside agricultural communities began raising questions about large-scale farming practices, particularly regarding environmental impact, fertilizer use, and long-term soil management. These discussions often reflect broader debates about industrial agriculture rather than issues specific to the operation itself. Much of the criticism appears in comment sections and online forums rather than through formal regulatory action. Some viewers argue that large commercial farms prioritize efficiency and yield over sustainability, while others view the channel as presenting only one perspective on agriculture. Supporters counter that the videos show standard practices used across much of the Midwest and provide visibility into processes that are typically misunderstood. The farm has not been linked to verified legal disputes or regulatory violations connected to its online presence. However, increased visibility has made routine farming decisions more open to interpretation and critique. The channel illustrates how public exposure changes the relationship between agricultural producers and audiences, particularly when complex technical practices are viewed by people with differing expectations about how food should be produced. Operating a widely viewed YouTube channel introduces financial and reputational considerations that extend beyond farming itself. As the audience for Larson Farms increased, the channel became eligible for advertising revenue and brand partnerships, adding a media-related income stream alongside agricultural production. This shift placed the operation in a dual role, functioning both as a commercial farm and a public-facing content platform. Some viewers have questioned whether monetization influences how farming practices are presented. Advertising placements and sponsored equipment have led to perceptions that the channel serves a promotional purpose. The farm has maintained that the videos document routine operations and that any partnerships align with tools already used in daily work. However, the presence of monetization changes how content is interpreted, particularly by audiences unfamiliar with agricultural business models. Public visibility also increases accountability. Statements, methods, and decisions that would typically remain within the farm community become subject to broader evaluation. The channel demonstrates how digital exposure alters expectations around transparency and neutrality. While monetization supports continued documentation, it also reinforces the challenge of maintaining trust when operational content intersects with commercial media platforms. Larson Farms has become more than a single farming operation with an online presence. The channel reflects broader structural changes within modern agriculture, including consolidation, technological dependence, and rising capital requirements. These factors shape how many commercial farms operate and how they adapt to economic and environmental pressure. By documenting routine work, the channel provides a reference point for discussions about efficiency, scale, and sustainability. Viewers are able to observe how decisions are made in real time, from equipment use to planting schedules, offering context that is often missing from public debates about food production. This visibility does not resolve disagreements, but it contributes practical detail to conversations that are frequently abstract. The channel also highlights the gap between public expectations and agricultural realities. Many viewers approach farming through environmental, ethical, or consumer perspectives, while producers operate within narrow financial margins and regulatory frameworks. Larson Farms illustrates how these viewpoints intersect, sometimes uneasily, in a media environment where transparency is increasingly expected. Its broader significance lies in showing how contemporary farming is shaped by both economic necessity and public perception. Larson Farms represents a shift in how modern agriculture is documented and understood. Through consistent, unfiltered coverage of daily farm operations, the channel has provided visibility into large-scale grain production that is rarely accessible to the public. Its significance lies not in controversy or promotion, but in exposure. By showing routine decisions, economic constraints, and operational challenges, the channel contributes to a more informed view of commercial farming. Larson Farms does not attempt to define agriculture as a whole, but it offers a detailed record of one operation navigating the realities of modern food production within an increasingly transparent digital environment.